Here we go. Oh. How's that? Is that better? Okay. Hi, guys. Happy Friday, everybody. We just finished the check-ins over in the Titan crew. Great job, guys. Everybody over in the Titan crew. Good job. Good 2-3 weeks of training into this check-in, and then now we're going to go another 2-3 weeks of good training before the next check-in. So I want to see some incredible changes out of you guys. And I know that you guys are loving the new plan, the total recall. It is right. I told you it's a fun one. And I have some cool, I think some fun info for coming next week. So what I'm going to do is next week, you'll follow along on those workouts with me on YouTube. And so we'll get the full workouts verbatim, rep range, all that kind of stuff. And so you can kind of see how I move through it and how that's going. And then also I'll give you more insight on how my nutrition is right now, if that's something you guys want to kind of play off of how my nutrition is and use that with your nutrition to make sure it's going. But again, nutrition is so individual. You know, it really goes off of where you are and what you're doing right now. The best way to help you is to understand that, and then we can go from there and get you on point. So how's everybody doing? How are we doing, man? You can feel free, if you want to ask some questions right now, feel free to ask some questions. We're good with that. What do we got cracking, Jeffrey? Anything good so far?
Yeah, so first off, there's a link to your Instagram. And the reason I'm putting that up is because what do you think about the Olympics in Paris? And I want them to check out your Instagram and have some fun on that first comment, that first post.
Yeah. Good call, Jeffrey. Good call. You can go over and enjoy that.
Mike, I'm thinking about trying out your meal plan soon. Excited.
Nice.
What are you thinking about?
Yeah, I'd love to hear what is the delay on just doing. Let me know what that is. I will say, just because that you guys do, I mean, you understand this, that weightlifting and changing the physique, if you're really good on it, you know, it's like you're giving it that 90%, you know, your diet's good, training's good, sleep, recover. It still takes some time to change that physique. So there's never, I don't understand the delay on anybody. So I just recommend getting your butt moving and get going. For anybody that's waiting, don't wait till Monday, you know, that kind of thing. Just, hey, get started today, get started on Friday, go through the weekend. And when Monday comes around, you'll be already kind of into this new little mental state going, hey man, I am flying already 3 days in. Just an insight. Go for it.
Can weighted dips make my triceps big? How to increase these?
Yeah, I would use them for tricep thickness. I like that.
Can I get a copy of World's Finest?
Yeah, touch base with Clark Bartram. I guarantee he has some copies he can share. What is it?
You just answered that. Thank you for all your guidance.
Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for, hey, you know what? More importantly, thanks for being open to listening and understanding. Thank you.
Mike, I'm skinny and I eat a lot. What would you recommend?
To lose that cliche, that's a typical thing that skinny people say. Sorry, but that is, you know, you're not talking to somebody that's just started this stuff. I've heard that for 40 years, the individual. And then I break down the nutrition and hear what they're eating and stuff. And it's not enough. And just think of that too, though. It's obvious. Anybody can gain weight, right? You just got to have the right calorie intake and the right foods. So we just got to find out what the right foods are for you, what the right calorie intake is for you, and then the workout plan around that to utilize it. Because if you are skinny, I think it's a good thing that we start building up some of that muscle, right? So let's rock and roll, my man. All right, Flo? Go for it.
Just got my meal plan from you, and I'm excited to start. What do you think about fasted cardio in the morning before breakfast?
Absolutely not. I think if you're going to get your training in, the training comes first thing in the morning. And so get up, eat that meal. And if this is for anybody and everybody there, you guys have, if you haven't been around long enough, so everything comes into play, you know, the hype of stuff, right? You know, spinning class was, I don't know, like 25, 30 years ago. It was the biggest thing in the world. It was the greatest thing in the world. Now they're, you know, discovering that kind of intensity and trauma to the body really doesn't do what you thought it did. It kind of broke you down and didn't set you up to win. So I'm just saying that hypothetically, that's a metaphor for there's all these new plans and all these new diets and all these new ways. So you got the meal plan. So what I want you to do is utilize that meal plan, and how I set it up for you is that the calories are around your workout. So get up in the morning, eat that good breakfast, get the body fired up, right? Put the fuel in the car so you can drive the car. Then hit the gym, use that fuel for a workout. All right. And then get the meal in again afterwards, and then let your body recover and start building and toning the body and taking off that body fat. That's what we want to do. Okay. But the point of earlier, and I think I bypassed it, is that enough studies have come out now that fasting in the morning before cardio or fasting itself is not beneficial if we are trying to build muscle or retain muscle and get rid of fat. All right.
What's the best diet for a boy in his early teens? Is it 13, 14?
Yeah, I just go back and watch my YouTube videos. If you're a youngster or you're a father and you want your kid to eat, make sure you watch our YouTubes and how I talk about how I ate, and other buddies of mine that played pro football and strongmen, and all of us guys that were really set ourselves up to win as a young 13, 14, 15-year-old on the ways we ate. But it is good eating. It is, do not eat like a bodybuilder. You should have much more carbohydrates at that age. So don't bypass this. I don't know if you're the teenager or you're the adult here in this situation, but yeah, watch my YouTubes and really get into it, and then get on over there on the Titan meal plan and walk through that.
I want to see the pups.
Yeah, they're tired. They're tired. Tony, man, great photo of Kobe. That's a workhorse. Was.
Come on. Is 35 too old to start training for strength and size?
Yes. A mindset that already questions what they can do is too late to do anything. So I will repeat that for everybody. A mindset that it's already believes it's too late to do something is too late to do something. Okay. This question has been asked nauseously, and it's always these young ones. It's like, holy cow, is 35 really to anybody in the world looked at as, okay, it's too late? So stop that, guys. It all comes from you.
Heavy cheek curls have any benefits?
Tons. It's one of the greatest bicep exercises ever. Helped my stubborn, and I got monstrous arms now, but I got them because of the fact of cheek curls. Close grip, bench, and cheek curls are the two exercises that got my triceps and biceps monstrous.
Mm-hmm. If I'm not able to get a full 8 hours, is it making a major difference in the potential muscle growth? I usually get about 7, sometimes 6.
I don't know how you're registering on your sleep, so I don't know that answer. But yeah, recovery's huge. But you do, and I've been watching a lot of these great studies and understanding of sleep.
Is that the one you sent me?
Yeah, it's so the first 10 minutes bust you in the balls. And it's because of the fact that you realize that it's the second half of sleep is more important than the first half of sleep.
Right.
And so hypothetically, you sleep from 12 to 8. You got 8 hours. Great. But this one day, you've got to get up to catch the airplane that's coming in. So you sleep from 12 to 6. So you lost only 2 hours. So that's only a quarter of your sleep. That's not bad, right? A quarter of your sleep's not bad. That's good. You're good. Except you don't understand that REM sleep, REM sleep, and your basic sleep fight each other all night long. And the beginning portion of your sleep is always won by just basic sleep. But the rapid eye movement comes in later and takes dominance over it. And that's the important sleep that cleans out the mind and neurons and gets your brain and your muscles and all that. So technically, if you do miss that 2 hours on the second half, you've lost about 60% of your sleep. So these studies are real beneficial, and it really hits me in the gonads because of the fact that I get up very early. So I got to make sure that I'm getting in bed on time to fall asleep on time so I can get that second half and not just go, I can get 6 hours, I can get 5 hours and wake up and do it. But your question about 7 hours, I don't know. Everybody's different. The studies also show that not everybody needs 8 hours to recover. So, yeah, I can't answer that. But I you know what? You can answer it yourself. You should be making gains every couple of weeks. You should see your body getting tighter, the clothes fitting better, you getting stronger, better appearance, better mind clarity. So you'll know if you're getting enough sleep off of those things.
Do you always want to go into calorie surplus to maximize muscle gain?
Yes.
Come on.
100%. You want to be in a surplus. And not just muscle gain, just health. You know, I get the idea of muscle gains, but yeah, health itself. If you're always in a deficit, you're breaking your body down. Let's do about 5 more, guys. 5 more good ones. Put them in there. Let's rock and roll on this bad boy. Let's get nuts.
This is kind of good. Thank you, brother. I'll get those gains. At what age can I start taking protein shakes? My parents aren't fans of them.
Oh, have your parents get a hold of me. I have no clue why your parents wouldn't be fans of protein drinks.
Mm-hmm.
They're incredible for you. And it's easy. I'm already how old's Titan just turned 5. He's been on protein drinks since he was 3. 2. We were already slipping in protein into his milk.
Titty milk.
Yeah. So I have no clue. I think that's just, I don't know if your parents are kind of granola in a sense. And they're like, no, that's processed or made or I don't know. Yeah. Put mom on the line. Let me talk to dad. You know what? Tell them to call Mona. Mona will straighten their ass out. What do we got going? Give me another one.
Not sure. Do front squats follow back squats?
Well,
Yeah.
Have fun with that. That's a savage workout. That's a tough one. You know, if you're Olympic lifting, I'm thinking that you do front squats before you do anything else, and then use back squats as an overload. If you're doing Olympic lifting, if you're an athlete, probably do the front squats and then the cleans, and do partials again on squats. But to do squats and then front squats, you doing your 5 sets of 7 or what we have right now, the 4 sets of 10 to 12s, man. If you got something left to do front squats and then you got to do some leg press and extensions to shape those bad boys up, you got an engine that doesn't quit, my friend. Now, here's a funny thing. You guys watch us. Well, you guys are going to be able to watch social media and see all these legends talk about how they trained in the 80s and 90s. I got to train with them in the 80s and 90s. So I'm seeing stuff now with a lot of these legends talking about how they trained back then. And it's interesting because it seems like some of them are kind of changing how they trained back then. I can admit, to me, I trained way too much and way too hard. That was me. I did that. I understand that. But some of these people are saying like they only did legs like twice a month. And so now it's getting back to the whole Arthur Jones kind of principles of training. So yeah, it's I fully feel for you guys on seeing some of these legends, and you want to follow what their principles are, but the principles are now changing when they look back on how they trained. Not quite sure why that is. No idea.
Mike, why would you say that strong hamstrings are important?
Well, you got to remember that the hamstring and the glute area and the lower back are what's going to keep you healthy for a lifetime. That's why I think it is. And then hamstrings are just the most important thing for any kind of sports athlete. That's why they focus on the partials, the explosions, the hip thrusts. And so for me, I realized, but I got lucky. I realized early on that is a much more important exercise to be strong, healthy, and it's cooler looking. Everybody on stage has some good quads, but very few have some great hamstrings and glutes. So that's the main reasons. So experience and then understanding and also working with so many athletes and those athletes as well. Just it's a common sense. And then you'll also find out when you do talk to these guys about the hamstring explosion and the connections on how important it is. So it's not just me. I love that you ask me on why I believe it. But it's just listening, being understanding to all these athletes and older people too. We got some great 80s and 90-year-olds at Gold's, and when I travel the world and I talk to these guys and we talk about the strength, like the tricep is so much more important than the bicep. Not visually. I get you can do whatever you want visually, but I'm talking about for health reasons and the importance of being able to continue to do this stuff. But hamstrings is one of those, to keep the knees strong. Oh, Jeff's got the music going, a little Eminem here.
Just a statement. Been working out for 3 years now. Started when I was 17. Loved your videos and it got me into it. I'm getting on your meal plan now and I can't wait. I always tried to get good sleep, even on Fridays. No parties. Wow,
this is a savage. He's 20 now. Man, that's somebody that's focused. Come on, everybody here, and when you were 20, you were not going to bed on time. And this kid was like me, where he was like, he still don't go to bed on time. Let me just say that. But this one's focused. I love that. It's gonna pay dividends. You're putting in that work right now at this age. You're gonna be able to play when you hit 30, man. You're gonna be the guy that goes, oh, but you get to do this, and it's because you sacrificed right now. Good job, kiddo. Great job. And when you get the Titan meal plan, that puts you right over into the Titan crew. Get in there. I want to see some check-ins from you and see how you're doing. Okay.
Were you at a Bitcoin conference? I saw you in a background behind Kennedy. Talking about karate combat.
Wait, hold on for a second. You saw me at a Bitcoin conference?
Asking, were you at Bitcoin conference?
No, I know. But in no world did you see that and think that was a conference. In no world.
Oh, no, there's two things, though.
Well, he's saying that the karate combat was a conference.
No, you didn't see that. You definitely didn't see that and think that's what.
Oh, so you saw a photo of me next to Kennedy. Yeah, so I was at Karate Combat sitting next to and talking with Kennedy, which is great. So we actually are going to get a workout in when he's out here and he's got a little time. Those guys are killing it with the Bitcoin. I thought he was watching the Karate Combat going, that's a conference.
Yeah, after I read it, I realized that. Yeah. Maybe. Mike, I'm 50. I feel like I can't recover. Like always sore. Is it perhaps too much weight or too much volume? Like I know it could be both, but which one, heavy/volume, would you prefer to do?
Neither of those. It could be your sleep. It could be your nutrition. Your overtraining with undernutrition. It could be a supplementation. Taking enough amino acids and glutamines. Yeah, it's all that. I would look at the things that most people don't do. I don't know what your nutrition's like, so I'm just going to guess. Most people train like a savage and think that that's the key. But recovery, I love that you train hard. I would say whatever you're doing, if you're sore all the time, keep that energy. I would set up the nutrition around that until you recover from that intensity training. That just saved you 3 years of being on a plateau. You were going to absolutely jump forward at 50 years old.
Is it possible to train bodybuilding and MMA at the same time?
100%. Just choose. You can only be so good and so good.
Yeah.
So that's your call. Most of the people I know train martial arts and lift, and less compete in both. But there are some, but it's a percentage. It's a percentage game. You do jiu-jitsu 5 days a week, your training's going to suffer. You train 5 days a week, you're going to be fatigued for jiu-jitsu or any other martial arts that you decide to do. Takes a toll. Great question, though. Great question. Go for it.
Thoughts on Mike Mentzer's training advice?
Well, I love Mike Mentzer's teacher.
Arthur Jones.
Yeah, I love Arthur Jones, and the principles of the training came from Arthur Jones, and then it got passed down. What's she getting?
She got something.
Holy cow! I got a timber wolf at this house, and this thing will get into anything and everything, and she can reach stuff that I can't fathom how she gets it. What did she get?
She's innocent. It's the other one.
You think Panda got it? Wow. But
They both have nothing.
we both have nothing. Okay, we're just hearing things.
Oh,
Yeah.
for a toy.
No.
But it's like stuffed with
But
something
with
that
stuff.
sounds like a rapper.
So there's going to be stuff you see online. And again, this is I saw Mike Mentzer training. I saw him training people, and so remember I was around when Mike was here. So it's tough to watch some of the YouTubes because I know I see these
Right.
not YouTubes, these Instagrams where it talks about train, once every 4 to 5 days, so in 2 weeks, you've trained maybe 3 or 4 times. And that's not what I saw for years. It's not what I saw. So it's tough to swallow and feel bad. But here's the scoop. And this is what I thought about the other day because I saw this one and it says every 4th day do something. What do you want to do? Like do you want to change your body? Then I would say train less than I train. But don't train to the point of where you train only once every 5 days. It was one of the reason it popped up in my head is he says, you ever feel stronger after you take 2 weeks off and you come back and you hit it and it's like incredible? Well, what he means by that is like for the layman's person, you train 9 months off season and then you diet down for a show for 3 months. Right. And so now you just trained a year intensely. And then you take 2 weeks off. And then you come back. Of course you're stronger. Of course you feel better. Of course you have the most greatest workout of your life. That doesn't mean take 2 weeks off and come back and hit it one time and then go 2 weeks off and hit it one time. There was a whole story before that that's kind of left out. And that's my issue. My issue is, well, you can't say that you're stronger when you come back after a 2-week layoff if you just trained for 4 months before that like a savage. There's delayed gratification. And it's like cheek curls that we talked about earlier. Cheek curls, you may or may not see that growth right when it happens, but there's a great delayed gratification of shocking the body, and it may grow later. And then you think it's because you were doing preacher curls down the road when it was the stuff you did before. So hopefully that confused you even more, asking about his the actual Arthur Jones training. I liked Arthur Jones' point. And then it got changed up with people below Arthur. And that is that you go into the gym, train as best you can, but as least as you can, but still get better. Now that makes sense to me. But again, I love lifting. I love training. If I go into the gym and I want to squat, leg press, leg extension, reverse curl, walking lunges, then I'll probably do all that. The consequence to that is maybe I won't grow as much compared to the guy that just comes in and does the squats and walking lunges. But I'm having fun. And for me, it's about continuous movement, continuously getting up, getting in there, getting moving. But if you're solely a bodybuilder.
Same guy. Is consistency more important than intensity?
Oh, that's actually a good one. Let me try to dig myself out of that hole. I don't think somebody that's consistent wouldn't have intent. No, that's not true. I see people that are so consistent and there's no intensity in that workout.
They at the gym every day. I see the same people for 5 years at Goals. You're in the no gains club. I don't care how consistent you are.
I would say it's definitely consistency with nutrition. I know this is not what you asked. It is consistency with nutrition, but intensity with workouts. So the person that will change is the person that's consistent with his nutrition, but trains once every 3 days, once every 2 days. That guy's going to change compared to the guy that is consistent in the gym, skips the nutrition, is consistent in the gym and doesn't have intensity.
Consistently wrong.
Consistency without being intelligent is a tough one too, because everybody says consistency works. No, it doesn't.
It's only part of the story.
Yeah, it's not the full picture. It's not such a black and white thing. You got to be consistent. You got to have good nutrition, and you got to be training smart, because you can go in there and be consistent and train like an idiot, and you're injured and your body is broken down. Great question, though. I think there's so many facets to it. You can't choose one or the other at the end of the day.
Were your parents strict as a kid? Did they help you get into powerlifting and bodybuilding, or was it something you found?
Absolutely not. They were the complete opposite. They said at a very young age, but I grew up at a different time. I grew up at a time that we walked to school. I could do a paper route at 4 a.m. And I was 9, 10 years old. So it was a different time. They said, no, do whatever you want, but just understand the consequences. You get in a fight, you go to jail. That was my parents. We had 10 brothers and sisters. So it was an overload, and we couldn't have the parents being, we couldn't have them being, what is it called when you umbrella, a helicopter, they had to just go, be smart, do your shit, and we have to go to work. And so it was very lenient, and it was up to us. And then I fell in love with this. And so you couldn't tell me no. I trained and like this kid earlier that was 17 to 20. I didn't do the parties. I didn't do any of that. No drinking. I loved sports and training. Good question, though. I think my point, but as for, and because I didn't answer the second part, whatever I decided, my parents let me. So to a great extreme. My dad, at a young age, when I started competing at 13 and 14 is they would take me to the shows. They would film them. So, my dad would travel with when I was competing in powerlifting to the nationals, and I was still, 16, 17, 18. So it was fun. Great family to grow up in. I always say that I was kind of bred for this because there was 10 of us and everybody did martial arts and competed and bodybuilding and powerlifted, including my parents.
What if I use carbs before and after the workout and protein only for the rest of the day? I look fuller during the day and have good energy when I do this, but is it okay? Is it an okay strategy? I'm trying to lean out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you would skip the protein before and after. Just have a little bit of protein before and after, and then the protein through the day. And yeah, I think that's smart to have the carbs before and after. But here's the thing. If you're trying to lean out and you're trying to lean out to a different level, the carbohydrates shouldn't be just so, hey, I'm going to have these 2 meals and then that's it. It should be a calorie intake and a grams. How much grams am I doing? Okay, for this next 3 weeks, I'm going to do this many grams. All right, for the 3 weeks after that or 2 weeks after, I'm doing this grams. And then I'm going to do a carb load or 3 days low, 1 day high carbohydrates, and they're going to be this level. And then boom, 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 boom. You get all those facets, and then you carb load again at the end. Boom, you're ripped. You look incredible. Good to go. But you're on the right track. Just make sure that you're doing the grams and pulling it all in. Just so anybody will understand this, if your calorie intake starts out January 1st at 2,000, hypothetical, 2,000, and you go till December 1st at 2,000, your body probably adapted to that back in February. And so you just wasted the next 10 months doing nothing to your body. All right. Your body has to be tricked. And this is one thing I do love about social media is not just me. Everybody will tell you this, is that you got to stay ahead of your body, adapting to what you're doing. And that's why I keep griping to you guys. Let's change the plan right now. Let's get on total recall. Let's do these numbers. Even if we don't like them, let's do it because it's setting us up to win later. Let's do the nutrition on point. And this make sure we're changing every week, every 2 weeks, we're changing, getting better, and setting ourselves up and staying ahead of those plateaus. Stay ahead of those plateaus. That way we can make sure before you guys know it, it's going to be January 1st again. And you're going to want to be in the craziest shape going into January 1st. And you're going to be like, I wasted again another year. So let's rock and roll. Let's finish right here. You guys, get on over, get into the Titan crew, get going on Total Recall. Do it with me. And again, I'm going to say that this Monday, I'm going to have this guy follow me around, and we're going to give you every little detail I'm doing for the next 2 weeks with the nutrition, the training, and everything. So you guys fully understand this next change of the physique as we continue to get ready for first. We have the Olympia in, I think, 10 weeks. I'm not counting that last week because that's dry out. And then we got January 1st. We got Dubai in 5 weeks. We got Singapore coming up. Then we got Thailand. Why are we going to Thailand? Don't worry about it. Yeah, some good stuff, guys. On that note, happy Friday. Go have a great night. I got to go do some legs tomorrow morning. Who else is doing legs?